So welcome everybody. I was just having a little trouble with my screen share. So hopefully you can see me. I am so excited. Sorry about the delay. And I was thinking about this. I should introduce myself. My name is Laura Graye, and I am a medical intuitive that has a practice in Boston. And I also have a company called Medigration, which is a online streaming site of medical meditation, more than just medical meditations, but really about consciousness. So what we're going to do today is really exciting. I was thinking about the other two live webinars that I did in October, which was about anxiety. And one of the things, as I'll tell a little bit about myself and my story, is that I tend to pick up on the vibration of sort of whatever is in the collective. So here I was in the collective, and I picked the first two webinars to do on anxiety. And so there was this like, whoa, some anxiety running through my body. And if there is anything that I am most like identifiable with and feel totally in my zone, is being a medical intuitive. So even with that screw up at the beginning, I was like super chill. All right, we're going to get this going. So I think you'll have kind of the best of me as far as holding my own vibration, which allows me to really hold a really powerful vibration and have you see for yourself what it is that you are as a powerful medical intuitive. So, and I also want to thank my amazing, amazing team and my mom, who has just been an incredible support throughout my life. I have a wonderful illustrator named Jen Turner. You'll see all of the illustrations and the animation are Jen's. And then my director of creatives that directs me and Jen and oh my gosh, what's it called? Not the composer who does the scores, Brendan, and then she oversees all of us. And then my amazing assistant, Mia Sanborn. So thank you everybody for helping me put all these things together. It really makes a difference to have such a brilliant group of people. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'll start and I'll share my screen, and hopefully I won't have the same problem with my mouse. And we will move through the goals for today and how you are going to become a medical intuitive. So hang on and bear with me. Okay. Alrighty. So becoming your own medical intuitive, and let me just see. Yes, I'm right in the middle of my screen. I hope that's not happening for all of you. I don't know why that is. But intuition is the language of consciousness. It really is the way that we can become more conscious. It's a way we can tap into our consciousness, and being that medical intuitive and being able to tap into your own intuition will allow you to really become more deeply conscious. So how we're going to do that? The way we're going to do this is we are going to look at what I've thought about for myself is intuition is a language. It really is a language that I believe we start out knowing and learning. It is our first language. And so when we lose those, which I'll tell you as we go forward, what we are, hold on just a second, as we go forward, I will begin to explain how we lose connecting to our own personal language. So what we're going to do is we're going to act today like we are learning a new language. We're actually going to pretend like we're learning a new language, but we're really tapping into your first language. It really is your birthright. We're going to set a goal. We're going to learn key words. We're going to teach how to study smart. Then we're going to have two exercises. Exercise 1 and 2 is going to come in the immersion section. Then I'm going to talk about how to seek real life practice. Then I'm going to talk about how to learn the culture of intuitive language. I'm going to explain how to relate to that language. And then we're going to do a really cool third exercise where we are going to be able to kind of work with the group. And I actually wanted to say something about the group because as we are all getting more and more isolated and doing more on Zoom and virtual. It's kind of nice. Last night I was in a board meeting, a virtual board meeting, and the person who was leading the board meeting took the time to say at the beginning who else was in this virtual room. So I thought I would do that also. So there are 75 people in this class. And it ranges, I think the youngest person in the class is in their early 20s, and the oldest person in the class is 79. And we have a good mix of males and females. I would say probably a quarter of the group are Medigration members. About a third of the group are new people who I didn't recognize your name. So thank you for, I hope the beginning little glitch was not your first impression, but I hope you gain a lot from this hour. And I think that was sort of all that. Anyway, so we're a big group, and this last exercise, exercise number 3, we are going to do something about actually doing an intuitive exercise with the collective. Okay, so let's get started. When we set a goal for today, this is what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to decide if you are just going to be able to understand what your body is telling you to a small degree. You may be totally the first time you have thought about your own medical intuitive ability, and that would be your goal for today. Others of you are have been working for years, and this is going to just give you the sort of a click that gives you the ability to become proficient in intuiting your body's message. And in those of you, there are some of you that at least 1 or 2 that I know that are really considering, or I am pushing you to consider becoming a professional medical intuitive. So let's go ahead, and Mia, if you can set the first poll. I thought it would be good for us just to actually put a poll out and see what the goals are so we can kind of see where everybody is. Oh, good. I see the 2 people that I'm pushing. Oh, 3 people. Good. Nice. That's terrific. Awesome. Oh, and also, just so you know, all the polls in here are anonymous, so please don't be shy and do that. So, oh, okay. I'm sorry. We had 75 people signed up. There's 49 on the call. So a lot of times people sign up and then they send me an email saying that they're doing something else, doing yoga or something, and then they're gonna follow the recording. So we've got about 49 people here today, and wow, we've got a really good number of people who feel somewhat proficient. So I think this is going to be a good hour for everybody. I think there's going to be some really unique pieces of information that I bring that will help everybody. Okay, next one is, okay, so the only problem is, Mia, can you, again, I don't know if those polls are sitting in the middle of the screen. I am just having a little bit of difficulty with my mouse, so I can't move that from my screen. So I hope that you see that this isn't in the middle of your screen as well. Okay, so the next thing is learning key words. So learning keywords are, let me just see, I'm just going to see if I can, by any chance, get in here. Stop that, I can't. Learning keywords. So when you are talking to your body for either the first or the fifth or the 5,000th time, I still use these. And these are words that allow you to basically start having very, like, a language where it's as easy as going down into your body and saying yes, no, I'm having an emotional thought, a mental thought. Is my blood pressure high or low? Is my liver healthy or is it dysfunctional? So if you're just starting to actually talk and communicate with your body, the best thing to do is move in and have really basic conversations, just like you would if you were learning German or Spanish. You would just learn hello, goodbye, yes, no. So the same thing with your body. You're just going to be able to tap in and learn emotional, mental. Am I having, is this affecting me mentally? Is it affecting me emotionally? That type of a thing. So we'll be learning keywords and we'll be doing this in the exercise. So let's go ahead and start talking about when you're learning a new language, you will be studying smart. The best way to study smart is to know how you actually learn. So the next question is, what is your internal native language? This is really important to know. What is your internal native language? Are you a feeling? Is your language feeling? Is your language thinking? Is your language experiencing? You have to experience something to actually, you can't learn anything unless you experience it. Or is your internal native language knowing? My native language is knowing. It is just a deep, deep, powerful. When I know something, I am like a pit bull. There is nothing anyone can say. Now, it's not about I know I'm right. It is a knowing deep in my body. It's almost like a blend that I feel it. I feel that I know it. I think it. I'm experiencing that knowing. So we're going to put a poll up today. Mia, if you can put the next poll up, what is your internal native language? And this is primary, so you can pick 2 or 3. Great. This doesn't surprise me, so it's showing up as a majority, so 62% are feeling, and 40% are knowing. That makes a lot of sense. We've got a lot of empaths in the group, and I will talk about that, how empaths, it's a really amazing thing. I sort of, at an earlier stage in my own medical intuitive career, and when I was a child, I was more empathic, and I would empathically feel what what someone was feeling. And we'll talk about that when we get into mirror neurons and how to switch your system so that you're not taking on everybody else's if you are planning on being a medical intuitive. But a lot of people, when they are big feelers, they are oftentimes feeling other people's feelings. And in this course today, I'm going to teach you a little bit about how to stop doing that. So, okay, the next question is, what is your method of learning? So that's another piece, is to be able to be your own medical intuitive. You have to know, are you a visual learner? Are you an auditory learner? Are you a physical learner? Or are you an energetic learner? So let's go ahead, Mia, if you can put poll number 3, and people think about that, because these polls, as we're doing it, and I'm having you answer these questions for yourself, it's going to play into what you're going to be doing during the exercises. And this doesn't surprise me either. So we have about 66% of the group are visual learners, 34% are physical learners, and 29% are energetic. And that would make sense for the energetic, those people. I would imagine that the people who selected energetic are likely the people whose language was knowing. And there could be the physical people would be a little bit more feeling or visual. Okay. And the next is, do you think in images, words, or metaphors? And so do you, when you're thinking, so this is just when you're thinking, when you're trying to contemplate and connect to a new concept, do you like to see it in images? Do you tend to sort of think in words? Or do you think in metaphors? Do you make a parallel, like, okay, I learned this way, and so if I can parallel it to that, I can learn in that way. So again, another poll. Mia, if you would put the next poll up. And again, this is to really have you be thinking that, thinking through how you do this so that when we get to the exercises, you're going to know, great, I know I'm a visual, I know I think in images, and that I know at least one person who thinks through metaphors who's on here. They constantly, he and I communicate through metaphors a lot. So great. Awesome. So again, this doesn't surprise me either. About 65% think through images. So that's great. So we've got a lot of people who are feeling, we've got a lot of people who are energetic, that think through images. So this is going to be really good. And it's going to be really cool when we get to the third exercise that we do collectively. Okay. And then the final one is, how do you store your memories? Now, this is going to be important before I even put how we put this up and before you even start thinking about it. The reason this one is important is that when we get to another slide, I'm going to show you what blocks intuition. And what blocks intuition can sometimes be stored memories that are, fear and maybe where your beliefs are found and things like that. So we're going to find where you store your memories. And then at the end, I'll explain sort of how you can kind of, it's not erasing your memories, but it's clearing the things that are in the way of your intuition. So how do you store your memories? I store them locationally by remembering where I was when something happened. I store them emotionally by remembering how I felt when something happened. Or I store them cerebrally by remembering what I thought when something happened. Now, before Mia puts this poll up, I do want to say we did offer that you can pick multiple choices, because I do think that a lot of times it's, locationally, I remember where I was, but it's because I was having this deep feeling and I looked around and I just remember that. So go ahead and definitely pick 2. Try not to pick 3 unless you really feel like all 3 come flooding back to you at the same time in the same strength. Okay, Mia, go ahead and put this one up. Great. And that does not surprise me at all either. And this is where I really feel like I just want to point out, I've thought about this a lot, that, I think everybody feels like at some point they're judgmental, that they're judging a situation. And I just want to look at this and see that those are not the things that stick. you know, we really are a deeply feeling, deeply present. What our memories are about is actually when we are present in our feelings and really present in here I am on earth in this experience. And so I just, you know, I think sometimes when we're going through the day, we don't give ourselves enough credit for how deeply feeling we are and actually how present we are. Because if we weren't present and we didn't feel, we wouldn't have the memories we have and we wouldn't be able to pull them up like we could. Okay. Um, Next. Okay, so here is the next piece, which is study smart, the difference between interoception and intuition, which you're going to need both of these for becoming your own medical intuitive. And understanding the difference is really important. So interoception. Interoception is the electrical and chemical messages exchanged between your mind and your body. So that means that when you have a thought, a flood of chemicals moves down into your body. And when you have something sort of hit your body or some physical issue hit your body, that interoception is sending that message up through your body. That's on the physical plane, chemical and electrical things are happening. Intuition, just to separate, has a different pathway, I think. Intuition is the non-linear subtle energy messages that exchange through consciousness. They are, and well, I'll show you that, they're part of gamma rays, and they are so fast and they're in the language of consciousness. So they don't need, I'm not suggesting that some intuition doesn't have chemical and electrical messaging once it becomes a thought, once it's pulled to there. But where it comes from is nonlinear. So we've got to be able to access that nonlinear piece of ourselves, which it's in you, it's always in you. I promise you, you can't lose it. You honestly cannot lose it. It just, if you can imagine like a stage with a curtain, and if the actors were all behind the curtain and they weren't moving, it just might be behind something, which is, look at that, why we lose our internal compass. Why do we lose our intuitive knowing? Why do we lose the ability? And so this is what happens when we are born and we are totally tapped into just being present. We have this intuition and this non-linear subtle energy just moving through us. We are just experiencing the universe sort of going through us. And then what happens is we end up with beliefs and fears that lock ourselves, and they actually lock ourselves with electrical and chemical, they sort of flood us with that. And then they get, I call them sort of thought stacks, because our body is efficient and our mind is efficient. We end up sort of having these, I can think faster, I shouldn't have to like feel through every moment of my day. So that becomes really efficient, but we lose our intuitive capabilities. And I promise you, you don't have to. You can't, if you start to erase, and let me just jump ahead and show what I'm talking about. So this is a cell, and in a really good, healthy cell, intuition is flowing through. And then the more rigid beliefs and fears that go through end up where we end up actually, I'll show it one more time, that intuition just flows through us. And then over time, and this is our lifetime, fears and rigid beliefs begin to actually cover our cells, and we can't tap into, and you know, remember, every cell, if we want to tap into our liver has millions of liver cells, and if every liver cell is holding this vibration of fear or rigid beliefs, then we just can't tap into it. So we're going to learn how to actually move those out, move those rigid fears and beliefs and get in under there, because again, your intuition is flowing right under those things. All right, so let's talk quickly about the brain waves and why they are important. So we have delta brain waves, and those are our sleep and healing brain waves. And then this is the important one. This is our intuition, and the theta brain waves are intuition. They are also brain waves of meditation. In the chat, we front loaded the chat and we talked about, there are a bunch of books I suggested. There's also a really good website on brainwaves that describes the brainwaves really easily and gets you understanding how to actually grow your brainwaves. If you need more delta brainwaves, you can actually increase them. If you need more theta brainwaves, there are ways to increase these. Alpha brain waves are visualization and alert. I don't think anybody needs more of those. Beta brain waves is focus and learning. And gamma wave length brain waves are expanded consciousness. And, you know, I can help people with gamma brain waves. I think there are people out there who understand gamma brain waves. I don't know that there's a lot of exercises that have it, but I also think meditation and those experiences help with expanded consciousness and actually being able to increase your gamma brainwaves. Okay, so this is just a normal brain, and where you have a normal brain at all times, these are brain waves that are happening in your brain. And then what I really love, and this is where medigration comes in to play, is that when you start working with any type of meditation, but really one of the things about medigration is that it pulls in the gamma and the beta and the delta at a more intense and a deeper level. And so it creates this entrained experience where you just have, that's where that expanded consciousness can come in. So that's why I really, really believe in medigration as a wonderful piece. And it's not the easiest meditation style to do, but it's definitely powerful. Okay, so let me just check the time because my screen, oh good, we're pretty close. So I want to talk about mirror neurons. I've talked about it a little bit in the anxiety, but I'm going to talk about it more here, which is that mirror neurons. So every single person, you know, we have 100 billion neurons, and we are responsible for allocating those neurons. We don't know that though when we're children. Give an example. So you've got Michael Phelps, and he allocated so many of his neurons to thinking, you know, visualizing swimming, feeling swimming, seeing swimmaging, imaging swimmaging. He would go out and physically swim. So his neurons became really, really allocated toward swimming. Same with Tiger Woods. And I use those two because, as we all know, they were incredible at this sort of one area they allocated. But then they ran into trouble in a different part of relating and with addictions, because their neurons can, you know, once you have your neurons all going in one direction, you just have an addictive, that's just sort of lines you up for rolling your neurons in one direction. So mirror neurons are usually, that's another type of allocation. It is usually the empath or the intuitive, a natural intuitive. And what that is we have neurons in our body that can be allocated. I like to think of it as like the side mirrors, the side view mirrors on the cars that can come in and out. We have neurons that can be facing out, that can actually begin to pick up, and they do. Everyone has these. Let's say if you have 100 billion, I don't know the number, but just for this conversation, if you have 100 billion neurons, let's say, you know, you should have 10 billion that are checking out what's going on in your environment, specifically other people. And these mirror neurons pick up other people's heart rates, their blood pressure, their moods, the chemicals going in their body. They're super tuned in. And we should have a little bit of that. What happens is if we become highly empathic, which sometimes in a traumatic childhood or even just one trauma, our neurons will begin to believe that that's what we need to do. And also, if we come in highly empathetic, if we are holding a vibration of a certain astrological sign that has a lot more feeling in it, our neurons will be allocated to pick up energy. So that's great. The only problem is that that moves your neurons away from you, and it has you picking up other people's things. Awesome if you want to be a professional medical intuitive, but I want to say you absolutely, you are going to burn yourself out if that's how you're doing any of your medical intuitive professionally. You've got to get back to your own ability to intuit so that you can just get a glimpse of what's going on for someone else. So mirror neurons are these neurons that we are actually going to use, because I know well enough to know that most of the people who follow me tend to be very empathic and need that help getting back to themselves in a really non-selfish way. So that's what mirror neurons are. And it is that sort of non-linear pickup of what's going on. Okay, here we go. Exercise 1. So what we're going to do is we are going to talk about proprioception, which is where you are and where you are connected consciously to your body. We are going to look at what is going on for you in your mind's eye. I'm going to ask you to do one of 3 things in this exercise. I'm going to ask you to first ground down into your body, and then you get to choose. You get to choose if you are going to imagine yourself like the one on the left, where you are looking at different systems. Can you feel where your blood, your circulatory system? Can you feel your digestive system? Can you feel that? Or the one in the middle, and that is, can you actually feel organs and glands and move into your organs and glands? Or the one on the right, which are the cells, and can you actually see and feel your cells? All of these are, it doesn't matter, whichever one you are most comfortable in. Most of the metagrations, I bring you through all of them. So, okay, this is what I'm going to do. We are going to do this exercise right now. And so, all right, we're not going to do the music. Just go ahead and take a deep breath in. Close your eyes and ground down into your body. And really feel yourself being pulled down onto the earth. Feel the weight of your head. Feel the heaviness of your shoulders. Ground down into your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. From your neck all the way down to your spine, all the way to your lower back. Feel the heaviness of your hips and your sacrum. And ground down into your legs, from your thighs all the way down to your feet. And just really feel yourself grounded down on the earth. And now, imagine your body as it truly is. Trillions and trillions of cells. And in your mind's eye, see all of those cells. And then go ahead and focus, if you can, on your stomach, either through seeing it as your digestive system, seeing it as an organ, or seeing it as billions of stomach cells. And now, using the language of your intuition, ask your stomach if it is acidic or alkaline. And then go ahead and ask your stomach if there are any memories, any fears bound inside your stomach that need to be released. And just let those go. And then look around inside your stomach and just see all the immune cells, personify them as little characters. And get them in a group so you can see them raising their hands. And if you're just talking directly to your stomach, ask your stomach if there's any food that you are eating that it does not like. And then go ahead and ask your stomach if there's any food from your childhood that was so healing that it wants more of. And let your stomach know how much you love it. And just smile at your stomach. And maybe name your stomach. And tell your stomach how much you love it. Great, awesome. All right, so come back in and just take a deep breath. And that was just one exercise. And that was, we were moving into the exercise. I just didn't click. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to just do it a different way. So come back, but just sort of slowly stay in that grounded sense. And now move back to where your stomach was or is. And look right over next to your stomach and find your liver. And this time I want you to feel a presence in your liver, like you're right down in your liver. And this is a really unique trick. So what I want you to do is I want you to literally bring your entire body into your liver so that you start, that all of your neural cells begin to vibrate in resonance with your liver cell. So you are going to start to feel like your liver, however your liver feels. So close your eyes and actually just imagine your body sliding into your liver, kind of like if you slid into racks of clothes, wrapping your liver all around your body. And actually feel. First, you'll feel a dense heaviness. And then go ahead and ask your entire body now as a liver, what do I need? And just allow it to come, whether it's a food, or some type of emotional need. Great. And then bring yourself back and see that you were actually using mirror neurons to mirror the neurons in your own liver. So that's how you can become one of your organs. And that was one thing that I did at the beginning for myself when I needed a louder sound of or a louder sense of my own organs, I would become them for 5 minutes, and just get that vibration going in my body, so that I could be able to hear them. And then I don't need that as much now. Sometimes I do it just for the fun of it. But okay, next. Okay, so how do you do this in real life? You know, how we can't always just become our liver. We can't always just become, grounding into our body in the middle of the day. But there are some really easy things. So um, ask your body what food. When I wake up in the morning, I just ask my body, what do you want today? What does my stomach want, rather than what does my mind want? My mind is going to probably want what has been programmed in my mind to want, but my stomach on every day may want something different. um, Another thing that is so much fun, I have so much fun doing this. Guess what color my urine or the shape of my poop is going to be before you actually have it. But not guessing, but intuiting, like, oh, this is what's going on for me, and then that's the color of yours. Number three, I've said this in so many conversations that I've had, personify your organs and your cells. My organs are really some of my best friends, and they should be. They should be everybody's best friends. Connecting and knowing what's going on for your organs. And these cells, they have consciousness. We were not, if you remember, that we're made of all these different organisms. Our mitochondria were bacteria that came in to be part of our body. We act like we're these, like, sort of, I'm an arrogant human, I'm one being. We're not. We're made of cells that all need attention, and need to recognize how important every single cell is. We are an individual made of individual cells, and every one of those cells are important. Ask your body questions, just your whole body, and then definitely clear and clean at bedtime. Your cells can't tell you until they really start. They're really good as far as kind of putting up with a lot. And so clean and clear them, because they can't speak to you properly if they are just filled with junk. And then meditation. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about are astrocytes, and I don't want to get too deep into them, but astrocytes are they are the brain cell of the intuitive. And in Medigration, there are two series, in the Love, Peace, and Calm series, and in the Anxiety series. There are two Medigrations that focus, or at least have astrocytes in them. If you really are interested in becoming more intuitive, growing and strengthening your astrocytes. And I have a book about that I'm going to show at the end if I have time, about astrocytes that are really important. I think astrocytes are more important than even neurons to some degree. So anyway, and Medigration has a bunch of series that I think help anyone become more intuitive. Really, yes, Medigration I created to help people heal, but another piece of that was being more conscious, and really, as those of you who know me know, that my work is to just get people back connected to themselves. And oh yeah, the one on the Anxiety series is called Rebuilding the Anxious Blood-Brain Barrier. That's the one with the astrocytes. So that's number 6 on the Anxiety series. So those would be really helpful to listen to. Okay, I'm running a little bit behind. So learn the culture of your body. That is another piece. Listen to your body telling you, if you are angry, you've got to remove those things, and relate to that language. Recognize that if your body is saying that, that you have pretty toxic thoughts or people or environments in your life. And I promise you, once you start listening to your body, you will actually, they will just start clearing and cleaning these things. So the other part about becoming a medical intuitive is as you do, you just begin to heal. Okay, so we're going to do the third exercise. I may go a couple minutes over because I had that false start at the beginning. So I apologize for those of you who've got to jump off at 11. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are a collective group, and we are going to actually tap into ourselves and feel in ourselves. And this is where I am going to teach you that you don't need to go out and feel into and do threat assessment out, that you can be in your own body and be a powerful, intuitive person by tapping into what's going on for you. So we've got a group, and what we're going to do is we are going to go in to our liver, our stomach, our lungs, and our heart. We're going to tap in. We're going to move into our bodies. And what I want you to do is I want you to feel all four of them equally. And then I want you to imagine what the rest of the group is tapping into. So this is this unbelievable oneness and collective exercise that amazingly is going to happen real time, where we are all going to connect and tap into likely one or two more than the other. All right, so go ahead and ground down into your body. And really, really feel yourself on the earth. And take a deep breath into your lungs. And feel them expand. And then move to the left and connect to your heart. And just feel the warmth of your heart. And then slide your presence into your liver. And feel the dense heaviness of your liver. And then drop down and feel your stomach. And now as you're doing that and you have all four, just start to feel the one that's pulling at you most, knowing that you're connecting to the collective. Don't question yourself. Know that you have this power. Say hello to everyone, sort of connecting whatever organ you feel you're in. Have that organ wave to everybody else's organ. And feel how connected you feel to yourself while still being really connected to others. Awesome. And come back. And Mia, if you can put the poll up, we'll see how we did. Oops, brain was supposed to be lungs. Sorry. Awesome. Awesome. So you can see that there was actually, that's the majority, that everybody was connecting to the heart. And of course, we would have had some connection. I mean, this is so perfect. I wish I hadn't screwed up the brain piece and had that with lungs. But we were connecting to our stomach earlier, and we connected to our liver earlier. So there really was already this group vibration. But of course, our heart is where we are the most connected, and sort of it's easiest to connect to that collective. Okay, so how do you practice and build confidence in this? So your intuition can help you. Really, there are so many ways, and this is, sometimes I have this here, and I can send this out if anybody wants this. These are just different areas that we don't even realize we can ask questions of our body. Where's bacterial overgrowth, unconscious beliefs, ancestral DNA. These are just different ways that I, as a medical intuitive, tap into, but you, as your own medical intuitive, can tap into it. I know I'm going over, but I do want to tell this quick story, so I apologize. Please, if you need to go, jump off. I have one person, someone who's on this class, is just this brilliant medical intuitive, but she didn't have confidence. She could not imagine that she was intuitive. Had a lot of fears and beliefs covering over that intuition, yet I could tap into it and just feel that she was really powerful in this. And so we set up this dragon that she would work with. And the dragon is this playful little, she also has sort of an orphan child archetype. So she really would play with the dragon. So I intuited that that would be a powerful tool for her, to have this dragon as her playmate. And the dragon, she throws balls up in the air, and the balls bounce down the dragon's spine and hands her these pieces of information. And the reason I tell this story is she and I tested this dragon out before telling her even what it was doing, to sort of trick her into that intuitive. And she nailed everything, every single thing. It was like boom, boom, boom. And she was intuiting things that were incredible. I told her afterward, and the reason I'm telling you this is that, if it's worthwhile, contact me and we'll set something up. If it's hard for you to get into your body, we can set, with everyone being very visual, I can set up some type of intuitive setup to help you, almost like training wheels. And I think she is getting more intuitive as we go. The other thing that I wanted to show you are some books, some actual books that I think are really, really helpful. One is this awesome book. We have, as I said in the chat, there are all the links for this. This is the Encyclopedic of Psychic Dictionary. And in the back, there are 100 exercises to exercise your psychic ability. I don't love the word psychic. I tend to think of it as moving out of your body, where intuiting is a more powerful exercise and experience. And Dr. Bletzer in her book does a little bit of both. So I would steer clear of psychic sort of outward things. Having said that, I do think that they are important to find the games and the fun and then bring them intuitively into your body. The other is if you are childlike like me, you will want some of these, which are the Ted Andrews series. And these are really fun. They're just easy kids books because I do think getting back to your own child within is like, I don't know, I would be really bored if I was just in my liver, just like looking at liver cells. So the Ted Andrews, which is on the chat, are really good books. But for the part of you who is a brainiac, I also love this, and this is The Root of Thought. And this book talks a lot about astrocytes. And again, astrocytes to me are when I go into my own brain and tap into how intuitive my brain power is. It is when my astrocytes are just beaming. So talk to them. And there's actually an astrocyte crystal that you can buy and like have at me to this. So here are all the ways to connect to me. And I hope this was helpful. And I, unfortunately, because I've been struggling this whole time, I don't know if there are questions. So I am sorry about that. I can't answer any questions here online while we're on this call, but send me your questions and email, and I will email you and get back to you. So I apologize for the technical difficulties. I hope I was able to keep you plugged in, and I will be doing more classes like this, and I'm actually starting a school where I'm going to be teaching classes in the school. So thank you so much, and remember, you are so powerfully intuitive. And you can heal yourself, and you can do this. It just is getting the fears and the beliefs off. Oh, wait, hold on. Am I? No, I couldn't. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.